Alcohol does tremendous damage to your body and to your brain. It gets everywhere. I mean, this is a poison, and you shouldn't deliberately be putting this stuff into your body for the sake of a cheap thrill. Once you understand that, once you decide to do it anyway, you've got to understand how much, how often, and for how long you drink is going to determine how bad it gets, right? Now, we all know about the damage that alcohol is going to cause to your liver: fatty liver, hepatitis, cirrhosis. And this video is about the serious consequences to the rest of your body because of liver damage. What happens when your liver gets screwed up. And remember, this is not just about your liver damage, it's about everything else that's going to happen. It's about what happens outside of your body, what happens to your life. And just as a quick disclaimer, I'm not a doctor, this is not medical advice. This is information that I found, and you can find the same information yourself. If this is your first time here and you want to learn how to stop drinking alcohol, build an epic life for yourself and become the best version of yourself, you can start here by subscribing to this channel, hitting the bell notification so you don't miss any of our future videos. So, first of all, I want to take a look at this, right? This is a healthy liver versus a cirrhotic liver. And you can tell the difference. You know, if you've ever handled a piece of liver because you're eating it, you know what a healthy liver looks like. It's very soft, it's very supple. Compare that to a cirrhotic liver, which is hard. It's just not natural. It's a lot of damage has been done to that liver over many years because of alcohol, right? So the first thing I want to talk about is portal hypertension. Now, the portal vein is, it's not like any other vein in that, you know, it's not like a true vein in that it doesn't drain into the heart like a true vein does. What it does is it delivers the nutrient-rich blood from your digestive tract and from your spleen into your liver. And there it's filtered. So 75% of your blood flow to the liver goes through this portal vein. With portal hypertension, your portal vein becomes narrowed or blocked. Think about the arteries that are narrowing because of high blood cholesterol. Your blood pressure increases. This contributes to a buildup of abdominal fluid. It's called ascites. We'll talk about that in a minute. Your digestive tract starts bleeding. Like I say, this is the vein that delivers from your digestive tract and from your spleen into your liver. So your digestive tract starts to bleed, you get a swollen spleen, and then you get Hepaticencephalopathy, which is one of the offshoots of this. We'll talk about that in a while as well. The next thing is ascites, and this affects people with fibrosis, affects people with scar tissue in the liver, affects people with cirrhotic livers, right? And it means, think about your liver as one big filter, like an oil filter or a fuel filter in a car. So all the oil passes through the oil filter before it can go on. It takes out all the impurities and stuff. You know, your liver is a much more advanced version of that, right? It's an organic version of that. So what happens when you get fibrosis is that the blood can't move through the liver as it would normally. And this causes high blood pressure, high pressure within the liver, not blood pressure, and it causes fluid leakage into the belly, right? So you've got this, a lot of people have got this big distended belly, it looks like they're pregnant. So you've got a loss of appetite, shortness of breath, discomfort, and 2/3 of people with cirrhosis are going to develop this ascites, 2/3. The next one is bleeding in the digestive tract. Like we were talking about before with portal hypertension. This can cause your veins in your digestive tract to swell and to bleed. And your digestive tract goes all the way from your mouth down to your arse, right? So it's all the way through. And one of the first signs of this is blood in your vomit, bloody stools. And once you figure in that, you have to figure in blood loss and everything that entails, reduced blood flow to the brain, confusion, disorientation, anemia, angina, heart attack. Another one is that you get more bleeding or more bruising than normal, because one of the many functions of the liver is to produce substances or proteins that make your blood congeal. So at the site of a wound, when your blood congeals at the wound, this is because of your liver. So once your liver is not able to do its job properly, you can expect excessive bleeding and easy bruising. One of the later stages to this, and I think one of the most scariest stages, is called hepatic encephalopathy. Hepatic encephalopathy is a decline in brain function, and it comes about because your liver is just not able to do its job anymore. Like I said, your liver is responsible for over 500 essential tasks. These are essential to you living, to living a normal life. So more toxins are getting through to the brain than normal. There's a deterioration in brain function, confusion, you don't know where you are, general disorientation, forgetting about things, amnesia, reduced consciousness, and in the later stages of this, coma. So there's a video down below, I'll put a link to it in the notes, where this woman comes home to her house, and her husband is there who has this condition, and he stood at the front door. He's got the remote control in one hand and his mobile phone in the other hand, and he's saying, I know what these are, but I don't know how to use them. I know, it's just a sad, terrible thing. Just watch this video because it'll show you a lot of different people who've got this condition. It's the person who has it, but it's the family who suffer as well. So you have to think about that outside of your yourself. Another one is liver failure. I mean, this is something that you don't need me to tell you about. Once you get to a stage where you've got, when you think about the two pictures earlier on, you think about that hard cirrhotic liver, you don't need me to tell you what's going to happen after that. Your liver is essential for life. Without the liver, you don't live. You can be without your kidneys, and you can be, there's machinery, there's medication that you can take that will replace that, but there's nothing that will replace your liver. A failing liver is going to create all kinds of problems before it kills you. As your liver fails, you're gradually going to lose the capacity, like I said, for those over 500 different essential functions that your liver is responsible for. So, going back to the beginning, alcohol is a toxin. It causes damage throughout your body, every organ, right? So you shouldn't be deliberately swallowing this stuff just so that you can get a convenient momentary buzz. And I'm glad you've watched this video all the way through to the end. I'm going to go over a couple of personal accounts, but I just wanted to state that with liver failure, this is not a good ending to your life, and it's not a sudden ending to your life. If you get cirrhosis of the liver, it can be a long, drawn out and a painful end, lasting months, if not a couple of years, So this is not a bad end. So what's it like to die of cirrhosis? I mean, you can go onto the internet and you can find for yourself plenty of accounts from different people, from different organizations, of what it's like from a personal perspective. So I've given 3 below. I'm going to talk about 3. One's from a daughter. The other one is from a nurse who is in a ward, I suppose, looking after people who have got cirrhosis. And the other one is from a study. So the first one, and this woman says, my mum was an alcoholic and she died of cirrhosis at the age of 43. The fucked up part is that I didn't know she had it until 2 weeks before her death. On the 25th of June 1998, I woke up I walked into the front room where I found my mum sitting in her chair. She was so yellow and she kept vomiting black bile. I held a towel under her mouth. It has been almost 21 years and I can still smell that black bile. It was the smell of death. Her mind was gone at this point. I was scared to death, and it was just me and her in that room. So that's one personal account. The next one, as I said, is from a nurse. And she says that first, one would not die of cirrhosis. The person would die of complications of cirrhosis. This is more than semantics, because the fatal complications of cirrhosis range from a fast and gory death, GI bleed, to from esophageal varices, to a slow march towards comatose. So Hepaticencephalopathy, we were talking about that earlier on. And the third one is from a study, and it said that out of 500 75 patients with ESLDC. 166 died during index hospitalization, which means that when they first were admitted to hospital, and 168 died in the following year. The majority were male, 65%. They were white, 80%, and the median age was 52 years. Most rated their quality of life as poor or fair, and multiple comorbidities were common. So the comorbidity is the things that are happening as well. You've got other conditions that are wrong with you. Most spent their last few days completely disabled. Families often reported loss of most income and the need to leave work or other activities in order to care for patients. Pain was at least moderately severe most of the time in 1/3 of the patients, and end-of-life preferences were not associated with survival. So most patients, 68%, preferred CPR, but DNR, do not resuscitate orders, and orders against ventilator use increased near death. So those people who were getting towards the end of their lives and that were in the most severe pain, and they knew that they weren't going to come out of it, they said, don't resuscitate, right? So, I was in a position of pain before I quit. I had a lot of pain in my right side because of the alcohol that was consuming, especially after I had a good session of alcohol. Good session. It's funny what words we use. When I was drinking, and it was because my liver was swelling up. So I've learned a lot about liver since I stopped. We've actually got a course for our members over on B2. It's called How to Protect and Keep Your Liver Healthy for Life. You can get the link below for that. But it's just one of those things for me that I was lucky. I didn't go to the doctor after I stopped drinking alcohol because I didn't feel any more pain, and I figured to myself, well, if I've damaged my liver, there's not much I can do about the damage that I've caused, but I can do a lot about what's going to happen now by changing my life and by reading up on it and just learning more about how I can protect myself and how I can live the best possible life that I can live. And that's what I did. So anyway, I'm going to finish it for here. I'm glad that you've listened all the way through, and I hope you got something out of that. I hope it scared you to death, to be honest with you, because this is one organ that you just cannot live without. And we talk about, a lot of people talk about cirrhosis and all that end kind of stuff, and the damage that it can do to your liver, but it's an important organ. I think second only to your brain. I think your brain, the damage to your brain is big. But a lot of this damage starts with your liver, because your liver is filtering a lot of this stuff. And the more you drink, the more that your liver it can't filter the stuff, not only in the long term because it's going cirrhotic, but it can't filter it because you're relying on different chemical reactions within your body in one session. So if you're binge drinking, the amount of filtering that's going to happen towards the end of that session, of that single session, is going to be a lot less than at the beginning, because your body just cannot produce the chemicals that it needs quick enough. Do you get what I mean? So that's when the damage happens, right? So I hope you learned something out of that. I'm Kevin O'Hara for Habits Unplugged and Habits Unplugged V2, Habits V2. We help people to stop this awful poison and to start living a healthy, happy, strong, vibrant life. Live the best life that you can live. Take care of yourself. Onwards and upwards.